You slip into life from the comfort of your mother's body, all 45 pounds of wobbly, confused newborn. You're already a bit bigger than your average horse foal, but that's not the only thing setting you apart. Your mom's a horse, but your dad? He's a donkey. Congratulations, you're a genetic misfit from day one. It's like nature decided to play a practical joke, and you're the punchline. As you wobble to your feet on those spindly legs, stretching to your full height of about 3 feet at the shoulder, you can't help but notice you're a bit different. Your ears are longer than your horse siblings, but shorter than your donkey cousins. For the first few months, you survive entirely on your mother's milk, which is richer and more nutrient-packed than a donkey's, but not quite as fatty as some horse breeds. It keeps you growing fast, your body filling out with a bit more muscle than your horse cousins, but still maintaining that awkward, lanky mule look. Each gulp fuels your developing bones, ensuring that soon you'll be running laps around the pasture whether you mean to or not. By the time you're a month old, you're already pushing 100 pounds. You look around, expecting to see your dad, but surprise, he's nowhere to be found. Turns out, donkeys aren't exactly known for their parenting skills. They're more of a hit-it-and-quit-it kind of species. So you're left with your horse mom, who definitely regrets that one experimental night at the barn. Your diet starts to change, and you get your first taste of solid food. At first, it's just nibbling on hay and soft grass, but soon enough, you discover grain. Oh, glorious grain. It's like the equine equivalent of junk food, and you can't get enough of it. But your digestive system is a strange mix of horse and donkey, meaning you need a careful balance. Too much grain, and your gut turns into a disaster zone. Too little, and you're left feeling like you missed out on the best meal of your life. As you grow into your gangly body, reaching about 4 feet at the shoulder and 300 pounds by 6 months, your appetite becomes legendary. You chow down on alfalfa, oats, and anything remotely edible within reach. Your mom teaches you the finer points of grazing, but you quickly realize you're a bit more resourceful than your horse friends. You learn to pick through hay for the best bits, and you develop a taste for salt licks like their gourmet snacks. At a year old, standing proud-ish at nearly 5 feet and weighing a solid 500 pounds, you try to make friends with the horses, but they look at you like you're some kind of freak. The donkeys aren't much better. They think you're too stuck up with your shiny coat and slightly more refined features, and don't even get me started on your voice. As you hit your terrible twos, yes, mules have those too, tipping the scales at 700 pounds, you try to neigh like a horse, but it comes out as this weird bray-neigh hybrid that sounds like a drunk karaoke singer trying to hit a high note. It's not exactly the majestic sound you were hoping for, but hey, at least you're useful, right? By the time you're 3, you're a strapping 900-pound powerhouse standing at an impressive 5.5 feet. Humans love to use you for work because you're strong and sturdy. Great, your life's purpose is to be a 4-legged forklift. You spend your days carrying heavy loads, plowing fields, and generally being treated like a living tractor. It's not exactly the glamorous life you dreamed of when you were a little foal. As you enter your prime at 4 years old, maxing out at about 1,000 pounds and 6 feet at the shoulder, let's talk about your social life, or lack thereof. Remember that birds and bees talk your parents never gave you? Well, turns out it wouldn't have mattered anyway. You are sterile, buddy. That's right, you're shooting blanks. So, while all your horse and donkey friends are out there making cute little foals and baby donkeys, you're left watching from the sidelines. Humans have a saying about you. When someone's stubborn, they say they're as stubborn as a mule. Great, so not only are you a genetic dead end, but you're also the universal symbol for being difficult. It's not like you chose to be this way. It's in your DNA. You're literally born to be annoying. As you trudge through your 5th year of life, still maintaining that impressive 1,000-pound frame, you can't help but wonder what you did in a past life to deserve this. Did you offend some equine god? Did you cut off a centaur in traffic? Whatever it was, it must have been pretty bad to end up as a mule. But hey, at least you're tough, right? In your 6th year, you're still going strong, able to carry up to 20% of your body weight. That's 200 pounds. You can survive in harsh conditions that would make a horse or donkey cry for their mommy. Great, so your superpower is being able to be miserable in more places. And don't even get me started on your diet. You're an equine vacuum cleaner, able to eat pretty much anything that even vaguely resembles plant matter. Tough, stringy grass that horses turn their noses up at. That's a gourmet meal for you. Congratulations, you're the garbage disposal of the animal kingdom. As you age, you start to realize that being a mule isn't just a job, it's a life sentence. You're going to spend decades doing the same thankless tasks, day in and day out. It's like being stuck in a never-ending episode of Dirty Jobs, except you don't even get paid. By your 10th birthday, not that anyone's celebrating, you're a seasoned pro at this mule business. Your 1,000-pound frame is all muscle, hardened by years of labor. But let's talk about retirement. Oh wait, we can't, because there isn't one. You're going to work until you literally can't anymore. While horses get to retire to nice pastures where they're fed apples and carrots, you'll be lucky if you get a slightly lighter workload when your joints start to ache. As you enter your teens, yes, mules can live that long, you can't help but wonder about your purpose. Horses have races named after them. Donkeys are in nativity scenes. But mules? You're lucky if you get a mention in a country song. And even then, it's usually not flattering. But perhaps the worst part of being a mule is the constant identity crisis. You're not a horse, you're not a donkey. You're stuck in this weird limbo where you don't really belong anywhere. It's like being biracial, except instead of getting the best of both worlds, you got the awkward parts of each. In your 20s, still standing tall at 6 feet and holding steady at 1,000 pounds, mule metabolism is no joke, you try to find solace in your work, but it's hard to feel fulfilled when your job description is basically carry stuff until you drop. You try to fit in with the horses, but they always remind you that you're not quite one of them. Nice try, big ears, they neigh as they gallop off without you. The donkeys aren't any better, looking down their long noses at you, which is quite a feat considering how long your nose is. Think you're better than us, with your fancy horse mom, they bray, and don't even think about trying to escape. With your weird mule body, you're not fast enough to outrun a horse, and you're not sneaky enough to hide like a donkey. You're stuck in this awkward middle ground where you can't excel at anything except being mediocre. As you approach your 30s, you start to develop a bit of a complex. You overhear humans talking about horsepower and Donkey Kong, but there's no such thing as mule might or mule mania. You're the forgotten middle child of the equine world, doomed to forever be in the shadow of your more popular cousins. In your golden years, pushing 40 and still maintaining most of your 1,000-pound bulk, though maybe with a bit more padding these days, you try to find joy in the little things, like a particularly tasty patch of grass or a nice scratch behind the ears, because let's face it, with ears that big, they need a lot of scratching. But it's hard to stay positive when your entire existence feels like nature's version of a practical joke. As you hit the big 50, because apparently being a mule wasn't punishment enough, you also get to live forever, your 1,000-pound frame finally decides it's had enough of this nonsense. You drag your creaky bones to your favorite hilltop for one last view of the farm you've been a four-legged forklift for. And that's when you close your eyes. Forever. Life as a mule is neither glamorous nor exciting, and it's certainly not enviable. But there's another animal that has it far worse,